Hello, today I want to show you how to use Azure Container Registry so that we can push our Docker images into Azure Container Registry. So we're going to create a simple Angular app and then push it to Docker, and then after that push it to Azure DevOps Container Registry. So to start with this tutorial, the first thing that we're going to create is to create Azure Container Registry. So to do that, go and create a resource, and then in the search you can search for Container Registry, and then once you got it, just click create, and then resource group. You can choose the resource group that you want to use, or you can create a new one, and then the registry name. For this one, I'm gonna call it DevOps Container Registry. Let's hope it's not taken yet. Okay, it's still available. And then you can choose your location, and then you can choose your SKU. So for this tutorial, I'm gonna use a standard one, and then after that you can just review and create. Okay, its validation has passed, so you can click create. So now our container registry has been created. Let's go to resources to view our container registry. So here's our container name, is there, and then you can see the repository. So we don't have any repo yet. So the other thing that you need to do, we must have an admin user. So to do that, you must go to access keys, and then in admin user you just enable it. So we have successfully enabled our user. So the next step that we're gonna do is to go to DevOps and to create our project, and then after that we can push our Angular project to our new project. So to do that, you can go to Azure DevOps and then create a new project. So in this project, I'll just call it Angular DevOps, and then leave it as a private and create it. So our project has been created. So when I see we have a repo is empty, so in the next step we're gonna just get this git command and then use it to push our code to this repo. So the next step is to start with our project. I've already created a simple project. You can see it's an Angular project. So the main thing that I would focus more is a Docker file and nginx config file. So let's start with a Docker file. So in this Docker file, you can see I have stage 1 and stage 2. So in the stage 1, you can see that we're using a node which is 14.18 as our build, and then we're gonna copy our package.json, and then after that we just run a node command and npm install, and then after we copy all the file, then we run np run build that we're gonna build our project. And then in the step 2, we're gonna use an nginx Docker image, and then after that we copy our nginx config, and then from there we do our build that is gonna start from this digital folder, which I'll show you in a sec when we run our build. So to show you again, on nginx config is a simple file. Just tell it, okay, you can only include the min types. On the server side, we're listening to port 80, and then the server name is a localhost, and then the root is user share nginx html, and then the index is the index.html, and the location, we're gonna try our URL slash index.html. So it's very simple and basic. So now let's run our ng build to build our project. In fact, before that, let's go to our app HTML. Let me just remove all this basic stuff. So I'll just put a simple header. I'll say header 3, just for the purpose of this tutorial. And then I'll just say dev ops. I'll say hello DevOps. Hello DevOps. And then we're done. And now let's build our project. So yeah, our project has been built successfully. The distinct file that I was talking about is this one. You can see it generate our index and some other files. Okay, so if we want to test what we have just created now, we can do ng-save to run the project locally. So we can test our project locally. I'll just go to localhost, and you can see it's hello dev up. So it's running. So now the next step that we're gonna do, we go to our repo, and then we copy this git command to push existing repository from command line, and then just copy, and then what we have to do, we first stop our session there, and then we go to our repo, and then I will commit locally. So just say shall create, and commit our changes. So once we commit our changes, we can run those commands to push our code to the repo. So we have pushed our code. If we go back to DevOps, we go to our repo, you can see our files are there. So now the next step is to create a pipeline so that we can able to push our changes to Azure Container Registry. So what you're gonna do, you go to the pipeline, create a pipeline, and then you're gonna choose which repo we are using. So in this case, we're using Azure repo. So here is the repo that we just created earlier, and then we're gonna use Docker, and then you must choose this one where it said build and push image to Azure Container Registry. So from there, we're gonna choose our subscription, and then after that we can push our code to our container. So once you selected your Azure subscription, you can come to this step, and then after that you can able to choose the container that you have created. So remember, the one that we just created is a DevOps Container Registry. So we can verify from there. Here is our registry name, and then so we're gonna choose it, and then the image name, you can choose any image name that you want, and then so I will leave it as an Angular DevOps, and the Docker file where your Docker file is been situated, and then do the validate and configure. So once the configure your pipeline is done, we'll go through it and show you some steps. So this is our YAML pipeline configuration. So it's a basic one. We don't have much, so you can see we have a Docker registry service connection string, our image, our container registry, the file, our Docker file. Yeah, so it's just a basic stuff. So now before I run it, I'll just save it first, so that I can also configure continuous integration for this pipeline. So once we've done that, I will just go to edit our pipeline, and then go to triggers, and then in triggers, you can see you have this option, override the YAML continuous integration from here, and then just click it, and then from there you just enable continuous integration, and from there you can see you can choose which branch you want your continuous integration to be triggered from. So now I can save and queue so that our build can start. So then I say save and run. So you can see our build is queued. So you will see all the steps and the command that is running. You can see our images on Ubuntu latest. Our build has started. So all this Docker command have been executed at the one that was specified earlier in our Docker file. So now it's doing the ng build, which is building our application. So everything was specified from our Docker file. If I can go back to our project and show you all the steps. So now it's running this npm run build. So you can see our build have been completed, and then you can check all our steps there. Everything ran successfully. So our build has been success. So the next step that we're gonna do is to create our release pipeline. So before we do that, to create our release pipeline, let's go to our portal, and then I'll show you that our repo is been created. You can see there is we have our image now in Azure Container Registry. So the next step that we're gonna do is to create a web app so that we can see our application in Azure. So go to create a resource and choose web app, create, and then I'm gonna use the same resource group that I used earlier, and then I'm gonna call this Angular let's say Angular DevOps UI, and then under publish we're using Docker containers, and then our operating system is Linux, and then you can choose a region that is near you. I'm in South Africa. I'm going to choose South Africa North, and then yeah, so you can also choose the service plan that you want to use. So let's just review and create. So the most important step in this is our Docker. So we go to Docker tab. You have option under option you have a single container Docker compose, and then we're gonna use single container, and then image source is Azure Container Registry, and then our registry is DevOps Container Reg, and then our image is Angular DevOps. So the tag there, I think you can put any you want. The startup command, we don't have any startup command, and then you can review and create. The deployment is in progress. So now our web app has been created. We go to our resources. We can test if our container is running or not. So if I can go there and click browse, you can see we're able to deploy our Angular app into Azure DevOps. So now let's continue with our continuous integration and continuous delivery. So if you go back to our Azure DevOps, you go to release. So you're going to create a new pipeline. So in this pipeline that we're going to create is Azure App Service deployment. So I'll just click apply, and then when we're here, let me close this one, and then so that I can show you how we do this. We're gonna first create our condition. So not that one. In fact, let's do this. Now we gotta do our project is that one, and then we choose our repo. The default is latest, and then we're gonna add that one. So let's go to our continuous deployment trigger, and then we can enable that, and also enable our pull request, and then we're gonna pull it from the master branch. That's it. So this is all the trigger that we're gonna do. So let's see, we don't have any the branch we're gonna use as a master, we don't have any resources. So that's how you create your build. So in our stages, we can do, let me show you this. So go back here, and then this latest, and then it's our source. It's fine. Go to our stage. I'll call this one test. Choose our subscription, authenticate. Let's sign in. So once we are in, I'm gonna use Web App for containers, Linux, and then we can choose our app that we just created earlier, and then we're gonna need a registry or a namespace. So let's go back to our resources. We created earlier. This is our container, so I can copy this one and then put it there, and then the repo. If you go to our repository, so you can have our repo, put it there. We don't have any of our command, so I'll just save this. This is our CD pipeline. So if I create a release and then create a tool, queue our release, and then I'll start building it into our web app. So you can see the pipeline has been running. There are only 2 tasks. It's a simple pipeline. You can see our release. It was successfully built. We can go back to our web app, and then we check our web app is still running fine. So now let's go and do some changes on our code and see if our continuous integration and continuous deployment is working fine. So first thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna create a new branch, and then in this branch I will just call it maybe UI changes, and then create our branch. So you can see our branches there. Let's go to our code. So what we can do, let's check into our new branch. So the other easy way to do this, I prefer to clone, so that you can have different copies in your branches. So I'm gonna call this effective way there, and then we do our git clone, and then we clone our new branch. So our new branch is going to clone. So what I can do, go back to Visual Studio Code and open our new branch that is created. So on this branch, first let's run npm install, so that we can reinstall our packages. Yeah, we install our packages. So let's go to our app HTML. So what I'm gonna do now, we'll just put a paragraph, and then I'll say testing CI CD in Azure DevOps. Let's save. So now let's test locally to see if everything is running correctly. So we can go locally. Our local one is this one. So you can see it is there. Then let me cancel that. And then before I comment, let me choose my branch, which is UI changes, and then go to check. I'm going to change this branch. Then I'll say UI changes, and then I'll commit. So once we commit, we can just push our changes. I'll just hit push. And once we push our, so now let's go and create our continuous integration. So what I'm gonna do, I will go to our pull request. You can see the changes that we did, and then you can just create pull request, and then you can put your title, description, and everything that you need. And then after that, you just click create. So you can see we don't have any conflict, there's nothing. And then if you are in a big organization, maybe you have a team lead, someone or a senior developer who can able to approve, you can go and approve your changes. And then once your changes are approved, you can see there who does what and whatever stuff like that. And then you can complete your pull request. So I normally use merge, and yeah, there's a lot that you can choose, the rebase, fast forward, and yeah, something like that. So in this case, I'm gonna use a merge with that fast forward, and then after that you can delete that branch that we have just created. So now once we've done that, if we go to our pipeline, you will see our build. It just started without any manual trigger, so it's continuous integration. So our build, you can see, is busy running, and then you can see the Docker build command have been executed, and so forth. So once our build is still executing, let's go back here and check. You can see our old app still saying hello DevOps, and then the one that we run locally is a DevOps test CI/CD in Azure DevOps. So once our build is completed, we must see these changes in our Azure Web App. So now it's finished. If we go to our release, you can see our new release has started automatically. So you can see our continuous deployment has been triggered. So if you can check, you can see it's been executed. So our release pipeline is completed. So now let's test and see if our changes are there. So voila, everything is there. I hope you have learned something. So if you really like this video, please subscribe, like, and leave comment so that I can create more videos that can able to help you to do things easier and faster. Thank you for watching.